Fans, if you don't know who Joe Rogan is, he used to be a boxer. Now he runs a podcast on the internet. I've watched a few of his episodes. I don't think he's a bad guy. In fact, he's often a sort of affable guy. He does curse a little bit too much, and he also promotes drug use at times, and I have left some pretty critical comments when I hear him cussing or when I hear him talking about drugs. I'll say something like, you need to quit using bad words. I'll leave a comment like that, or I'll say, hey buddy, put the drugs up, let's not do any drugs. I'll say something like that. And then of course I get a lot of people in the comment section that are sycophants, if that's how you pronounce the word. They are so vituperative and ugly toward me, and they say stuff like, you need to delete your account, you're the biggest scumbag in the world, just because I tell the guy not to talk about drugs, you know. So at the end of the day, that sort of shows you a very dim view of society. But luckily, I know how to look past all that. I know how to see the good in people. And I've been noticing lately, Mr. Rogan, Joe, you've been looking a little bit downtrodden in your podcast lately. You see how I'm sitting right now, wearing a nice collared shirt. I got pretty good posture. I sit pretty straight up. But Joe, I see you, and you sit kind of like that, all slouched. You don't look confident anymore in your podcast videos. I've noticed that you have a bald head. That's not necessarily a bad thing, but you sit with that bad posture. You have admitted in several of your latest videos, you've said to your guest, oh, I don't know much about that subject. I don't know what you're talking about. Joe, you know as well as I do that you need to do research before you go into an interview. Don't just go in there without doing any research, or you're going to look like a buffoon. You should know better than that. You've been doing this for years, Joe. And I also have noticed not only is he not preparing for the interviews, he's sitting with bad posture now. He also just has a very sad and somber look on his face. And even when he's laughing or smiling, you can tell that it's sort of forced, sort of fake, because his eyes immediately revert back to being going kind of down at the corners, and the mouth curls down in a frown, so he kind of looks like he'll laugh. That's a good joke. It's just a very sad thing to see. So Joe, I want you, don't be afraid, buddy, to shoot me a message, shoot me an email, let me know what's going on. Let me know what's going on, buddy. I am well versed in psychology, and I can get you back on the right track.